There are a few things that you should take care of before leaving your home country. The first thing, communication is important. In Malaysia and other Southeast Asian countries, WhatsApp is the most commonly used application for communicating between within the same country or even between countries. To store somebody's number on your phone to be able to use it on WhatsApp, you should always use a plus sign and the country code before their number. Otherwise, WhatsApp will not recognize as a valid number. So, download the WhatsApp application if you don't have it, and then make sure it works fine before you leave the country. Another important thing you should take care of before you leave your country is set your bank travel notifications so that you can use your cards, credit cards in a foreign country. I always use Charles Schwab account cards because they have a feature, and I'm sure there are other banks also have that feature. They do not charge anything for using the ATM, even though but there will be a charge by the bank of the ATM. The Charles Schwab will refund those charges at the end of the month. Also, once you reach there, I will tell you you have to withdraw some cash and keep the cash with you. Another thing you can do before you leave is to download the Grab application. The Grab is it's the equivalent of Uber in the Southeast Asian countries, and it's the most common way, and it's very easy. You can connect your credit card to it. Another application you should download is the Touch and Go e wallet and load some cash there. Most of the shops accept payments through QR code, and Touch and Go has this QR code facility, and it will save you a lot of trouble instead of handling cash in all the places. Another thing to take care of before you leave is the phone. If you want a eSIM, you should order it and get it installed on your phone before you leave. Alternatively, what I used to do was when I used to come to Malaysia first, when you get down in the airport, as you're walking out towards immigration, you will see a lot of kiosks selling SIM cards. The Maxis or the Hotlink company offers a 30-day unlimited SIM plan for tourists at around 45 or 50 ringgits. You can buy that, and that's a very good choice uh, to use while you are in Malaysia if your local country does not allow you to use your phones at a reasonable price in Malaysia. Downloading a translation application like Google Translate or I guess translation text, some things. There are a few of them. Google Translate is good. If you download it and install it, it will be a breeze to communicate anywhere in the world and in Malaysia. Although everywhere English is spoken by most of the places that you will be going to, except in very remote villages, you may not find anybody knowing English. So it's always good to have a translation app if you are in a sticky situation. This is a very important suggestion that I'm going to give you. Keep paper copies of your passport and any visas you might have, and on the paper you also write down your home address, phone numbers of your emergency contacts like your children or relatives, and make a couple of copies, a few copies of this sheet of paper with all the information, and keep one in each of your luggages and one on yourself. I have seen cases where people have lost everything, things that the thieves, the snatch thieves, have taken away everything off of you. So at least you will have a copy of everything back in the hotel room in your luggage or something. uh, this is a very, very serious thing. So please uh, do this and keep a copy. Malaysia being near the equator, it could be very hot and it could rain or drizzle quite often. So try to get a small pocket umbrella that's not huge, just something that you can slip into your pocket. And also, if you have your favorite hat, bring that along. Both these things you can buy it here also, but these are small things that you will use just for this trip. So maybe it might be a good idea for you to bring it along with you. This next suggestion is going to be very difficult for people to follow. Travel light. I always travel light with just a carry on luggage and my computer bag. If you are coming from some other country and then heading back to some other country, and if you have large luggages, when you meet me in Kuala Lumpur, you can leave it with me and take it back if you're flying away back from Kuala Lumpur. Also, in these kind of international travels, it's better you have enough bags with you that you can pull it along by yourself without the need for a trolley. Because in the bus stands, bus terminals, you will not find trolleys. So keep this in mind when you travel, especially on the slow world travel. Now, this is a very, very important trip. Please stay away from any kind of drugs. The Southeast Asian countries are very strict when it comes to drugs. We have seen movies where people had some drugs slipped into their carry on by another unsuspecting person, and they have ended up in the prison for life or a very long time. Uh, Getting into drugs is the worst thing that can happen to you when you are on international travel. Here are some tips that will be helpful once you have landed in Malaysia. The first thing is their currencies and their coins. Luckily, their coins are almost similar to the US, but their notes called ringgit, the Malaysian ringgit, they are of different denominations and different sizes and different colors, unlike the US notes. So here I will go over the coins and also the notes. The first is the 1 cent coin, looks exactly like the US 1 cent coin, but I have almost never seen it here. It's not being used at all because here they have the system of rounding off all the charges to the nearest 5 cents. So even if you're going to pay for something by cash, there will be no use for 1 cent, but it does exist. The next is a 5 cent coin. This is exactly like the nickel in the US, same size, and so everything looks the same. So this would be the 5 cents coin. Although the image here shown is a 10 cent, um, it is showing bigger than the 5 cents. That is not true. The 5 cents and the 10 cents are just like our nickel and dime in the US. Next is the 10 cent coin, which is just like our dime in the US, and it is smaller than the nickel, just like in the US. So far, we have seen a penny, a nickel, and a dime. The next coin is the 25 cents or the quarter. Exactly looks like the American quarter in terms of shape, size. So it's very easy to get confused. But because the coins are similar to US, it will be very easy for you to know whether it's a 5 cent, 10 cent, or a quarter. And finally, the 50-cent coin here, which is never really used anywhere. I think I've seen it maybe once or twice. There is also a dollar coin. Again, you will never see it, most probably. If you do see it, you can keep it with you and take it with you as a souvenir. Next, we come to the currencies. Here, the currencies are not made of paper, but of some kind of a plastic. You cannot tear it with your hand. And different denomination notes are of different color. Here we see the one ringgit. It's a very commonly used note. It's plastic, very sturdy, and it's blue in color. Next is the 5 ringgit note. It's green in color, slightly bigger than the 1 ringgit note. And again, because the size is bigger and the color is green, there is no way you can get confused about it. Next, I will show you the 10 ringgits and the 20 ringgits notes. Originally, I used to be confused a lot because they almost look similar in color. The 10 ringgits is kind of pinkish in color. And next, I will show you the 20 ringgit note. It's orange in color, and both of them are almost same size. Next is the 20 ringgits note. As I said, it is similar size to the 10 ringgit note, and the colors, if you are a little color blind, it will be difficult, but this has an orange shade to it. In the US, of course, we do not use a $20 bill, but here between the 10 and the 50, they do have this 20 ringgit note. Next is the 50 ringgits note. This is like a green blue border kind of a color. I guess we would call this a green because the $1 was blue. So the 50 ringgits. Again, in the US, we do have $50 notes, but we do not use it as often. Here, 50 ringgits is a very common currency, and most of the ATMs would only give you 50 ringgits when you try to withdraw cash. And finally, the 100 ringgits note. It's purple in color, and yes, it does get used somewhat, but not as much as the $50 bill is used. I mean, the 50 ringgits bill, because the ATMs give out only 50 ringgit notes. But 100 ringgit notes are also acceptable everywhere if that's what you have. Here is some idea on the mix of the people and the languages. The Malay are majority number of people, and then there are Chinese and the Indians, mostly Tamils. So Malay is spoken by almost everybody because here they have to learn Malay, and English will be spoken by most of the people in the cities, big cities. You can get away with English, except if you are going to a small town. Then the Chinese people speak Chinese, and the Indian, the Tamils, speak Tamils. So here are some of the common words that is used here. I will tell you each of them next. Selamat datang. This is the first word you will see when you arrive in Malaysia. It means welcome. It's a very, very commonly used word phrase, but I've never seen people use it. But I've seen everywhere writing, any new city, everywhere you go, the first thing you will see is Salamat Datang. Apa kabar. This is a very commonly used when you say how are you, when you meet somebody, if you want to ask them how are you say apa kabar. Terima kasih. This is the most common word you'll be hearing. It means thank you. So almost every shop you go, you buy something, you paid them off, they will tell you terima kasih, and then you will also repeat the same thing, terima kasih, thanking them in return. I have seen this used the most during my stay in Malaysia. Tolong is not very commonly used, but it's used for please. And nowadays, everybody uses English, please. So, tolong is the Malay word that is supposed to be used, but I have never used it. I always used please. when you request something. This is the most common word used in Malaysia, makan. Makan means the food, but it's also depending on the intonation you use. Like, have you eaten? You say makan, or if you want, let's go out and eat. You'll say makan. That means you're calling them. So it's a word that is used differently based on the circumstances, the situations. Bole is this is a very interesting word. Like we say, can you do it if you ask them for something and all, or you're negotiating a price. And so asking, can you do it for that price? The word is bole, can, can you? You'll find this also very commonly used. Here are some very common words you will see in print. It's very important to know, especially if you're going to the bathroom. This first word is masuk. It means the entrance. So the most of places will have an entrance and an exit. And when you see masuk, that means that is the entrance. This next word is the opposite of masuk. So this is kelua, and it's for the exit. Mostly drivers will be looking for it when they're driving out of a parking lot, or you go to into a bathroom and you want to come out. You'll use, if there is a kelua, you'll use that. This next word will be very important for you. It's called tandas, and tandas means toilet. So if I asked people where's the bathroom or the washroom, they would stare at you. But if you ask them where is tandas, they'll understand immediately and point you out where it is. Also, when we are going in the bus, the long distance bus, and you have to use the bathroom urgently, so you just go to the driver and say, "Hey, can we have a please a tandas stop?" He'll understand immediately. So it's a very important word to know in Malaysia. The next two words are very important and related to the tandas, the toilet. Lelaki means men and Vanita means woman. So usually the lelaki shows a picture of a man in blue, and the Vanita, the woman's toilets, are shown a picture of a woman in pink. So make sure you go into the right toilet. Here is a practical tip. Always keep some ringgit notes with you to pay for at small stalls. They will not have may not have QR codes or credit card facilities. And very importantly, if you go to the toilets, especially when you're going by bus, some of the bathrooms in some of the cities will need cash, usually 50 cents. So keep some cash with you, and also some coins, uh, because if you give you them a one ringgit, they will give you change. This next tip is very important for our slow travel members, especially those who are going to cook. Most of the people tend to have breakfast at home, either just coffee or a banana or some toast and some eggs. So, the first thing I suggest you do when you land in Malaysia in the condo, you head to the supermarket, take a grab to the nearest supermarket, and buy the stuff you will need for a week. And you can always carry the leftovers if you don't, if you're not finished, with you to the next destination. So please take this thing seriously, because this will help you a lot in saving some money with the food, and also having something in stock uh, for a midnight snack. You don't have to go out hurriedly to buy a midnight snack. In our Malaysia wheel, Johor Bahru town, close to Singapore, is the first place where we start our wheel. And Johor Bahru condo, Kings Bay condo, is located right across a mall called Belltime Mall. And inside the Belltime Mall, there is an Aeon supermarket. So you can go there and buy all the groceries you need for the week: bread, eggs, sausages, tomatoes, onions, things like that if you're planning to cook. You may want to get some butter and oil, whatever you need. Pick it up at the Aeon supermarket where you'll get a good selection and a good price. When you reach the next town, Kuala Lumpur, you will go to our condo in Bukit Bintang area. And here, the nearest Jaya Grocers, it's one of my favorite supermarkets, is 2.4 miles by Grab. It probably cost you anywhere from 5 to 10 ringgits. So go there and buy your whatever you need for your stay in Kuala Lumpur. Just like in Kuala Lumpur, when you go next to Penang, again the nearest Jaya Grocers is about 3.5 miles. Take a grab and go there. And so far, I've seen Jaya Grocers have the best selections of different things and the best prices. Of course, you can find something cheaper like local foods in Pasar Malams, the night markets. But I suggest going to the grocery shop, the grocer supermarkets first, and see what all you need and pick it up for a week. And finally, when you reach Langkawi by ferry, you will there is a billion supermarket which is actually right across from the jetty, maybe about a half a kilometer away on the way to the condo. The condo is in the other end, the northern end of the island. It's about 20, 25 ringgits by Grab, which is about $5, $5 or $6. Uh, or you can take a Grab as soon as you come out of the jetty and go to this supermarket, because this is the only big supermarket in Langkawi where you can get everything. So, but only tricky thing is you might have baggage. So you may choose to go to the condo and come, or go the next day, whatever you would like to do. Although bus and train is a very common and cheap mode of intercity transport for our slow world customers from the US and UK, I suggest that use Grab as much as possible because they are very inexpensive, usually less than $5 for most of the rides, and you will probably go once a day outside to do your stuff and come back. But keep in mind, buses and trains, if you want the experience, they are just about 1 ringgit or 2 ringgit cost. So keep this in mind when you plan your itinerary on various days in the various places. In Langkawi, you don't have a choice. I think Grab is the only mode. They have local buses. It's very rare and difficult. So Grab will be your most common method of travel in Langkawi. Now, here are some tips about the Malaysian culture and how you should behave yourself so you do not feel the other people or yourself embarrassed. This is a very important tip about Malaysian culture and Southeast Asia in general. You do not wear your shoes that you wear outside. You do not walk into a house with those shoes. You are expected to take it off outside the door and step into the house barefoot or with your socks, unless your host asks you to come in. But here, the practice is you have to remove, not only in homes, in some shops, not the supermarkets or things, but if you go to a tailoring shop or some small boutiques, you will see some shoes already outside, which means that you have to leave your shoes outside. So don't wear your shoes and go inside without it being acceptable there. In Malaysia and also other Southeast Asian countries, it's very rude to use your left hand for anything. You don't point at people with your left hand or show something. Even your directions you give somebody should be with your right hand. The left hand, I don't know what's the reason, but it's considered rude to use your left hand. Also, please keep in mind this is an Islamic country, and most of the local women will be wearing those full black dress. Not as bad as in the Middle East, but they are pretty strict here. So the ladies, please dress modestly unless you're going to the beach or something. Modesty is something that you have to maintain in an Islamic country. For those who have not traveled outside the United States, this may kind of come as a shock. uh, they do not use toilet paper in the toilets. So many places will not have toilet paper. And in another video, also, I mentioned when you go to the supermarket first, and if you have to have toilet paper, please buy it there. And then when you go out, keep it with you in your purse or something to use when you're outside. You will not find toilet paper in outside. Instead, they use a bidet, or they call it in the US, they call it a bum gun. So they use water to clean themselves after the job. I've shown it in another video also how to use it. There's a lever, you press that, water spouts out. It's a bidet. I think some of the bidets have been coming in the US recently, but this is something to keep in mind. Driving in Malaysia and many Southeast Asian countries, they follow the UK system and drive on the left side of the road, unlike the US. So when you are waiting for a bus or a grab, make sure you're waiting on the left side of the road, because that will be the easy for him to pull over and you can get into the grab from that side. I'm going to show you some images now. This is Jaya Grocers, a very popular grocery store. This is Village Grocer. This is the Aeon supermarket across from our JB, Johar Baru condo. These are the convenience stores, just like the US 7-Elevens. There's another famous one called KK Supermarkets. You can get beer in these convenience market. This is called a pasar. Pasar means market, where they sell fresh things. This is Pasar Malam, the night market, where you'll get a lot of cooked food. And these are the theaters. GSE and TGV are the two big movie theaters. They show all language films, English, all the new English movies comes here, Malay, Chinese, Tamil. The interesting thing is senior citizens have a special price of 11 ringgits, which is like less than $3, like a $2.50. I watch most of my movies at 11 ringgits. This is the QR code you will find in many shops, and if this is there, they will accept the payment by the QR code. I already told you how to get your QR code through the TNG, Touch and Go wallet, e wallet. This is the Touch and Go sign. If you see this anywhere, they will accept your Touch and Go card for payment. And these cards are available in most of the convenience stores and train stations in the ticket booths. Also, be careful because this does not have your name linked to it. So, any if you drop it somewhere and somebody picks it up, they can go and use it anywhere. Anywhere Touch and Go is accepted, they can spend whatever money is left on it, because there is no ID for them to ask and verify that it is their Touch and Go card. The next most important thing, of course, alcohol. If you're going to be drinking alcohol, you can buy it at the duty free shop and come into the country. Being an Islamic country, alcohol is very expensive in the bars and even in the stores. Alcoholic drinks are available in special shops which are authorized to sell alcohol. Beer is available in convenience stores like the KK supermarket that I showed you earlier, and some other the grocery shops, the supermarkets will also have some beer, and I've seen some wine in grocery shops like Jaya Grocers, Village Grocers. They do carry some beer and wine, so you may find it there. Bars are very expensive. There are scams that you should be careful, especially if you're going to rent a car or a bike. Make sure you videograph the condition of the vehicle before you take it and email that video to that shop so that it's there on record that when you took it, that it was like that. That is very important, because after you return, many some people, unscrupulous people, have been found to charge you for things that was already there defective. Then money changes, also be careful. Always go to a reputed money changer, because they charge various fees. The best thing to do is use your ATM card, like Charles Schwab cards, in the ATM to withdraw local currencies. Finally, snatch thieves. In any foreign country, there are snatch thieves standing around, and you won't know what hit you. And your purse would have been gone with all your passport, currency, everything. I have come across a few people who have lost everything through the snatch thieves. So be careful with your bags. Next, I'm going to give you some tips for traveling by bus, because everybody will be traveling by bus between the cities. After the last city in Langkawi, many of you may be flying out of Langkawi because it is a international thing. There is something after you book your bus ticket online. uh, there is something called a boarding pass you have to get into the bus or the platform in most of the big cities like JB, KL, and Penang. I don't understand the logic. Some bus companies will give you that boarding pass and they'll charge you $2 or something. In smaller cities, you have to go to the counter about 30 minutes early, and you have to pay the $2, show your reservation, and they'll give you a boarding pass. But be sure, make sure you have the boarding pass. If you don't have it with you, give you sufficient time to go and collect the boarding passes. Most of the toilet usage will be free, but then sometimes you will see somebody sitting in the front with a table and change there with a board saying 50 cents to use in the toilet, to use the toilet. So keep some change with you. So if both two people are going, one ringgit bill should be enough for two people. Usually they're kept pretty clean, and make sure that you enter the lelaki for males and the vanita for the woman. They are usually in a blue or a pink. So keep that in mind and keep some change. I usually get bored on these 4 5 hour bus trips, so I need snacks to keep munching on the way. So I usually, before I go to the bus terminal itself, I buy some snacks. Even when you stop there midway after 2 hours, there will be usually some shops where you can pick up some additional snacks if you haven't brought them or if you don't have enough. So look out for these things. Preferably carry it with you before you go to the bus station. The bus station also sells sandwiches, tuna sandwiches, burgers. So pick up things before you board the bus that you think you will need. This is a very important tip for people who are diabetics or who have prostate problems and have to use bathrooms at least every couple of hours. Although the buses do stop for at around 2 2.5 hours, sometimes unfortunately there's an accident in the road, seen traffic backed up for 10 miles, and it could take another extra hour before you reach. In case you have an emergency and the bus is driving, you just walk up to the driver and say, please, can we have a tanda stop? And they will understand. And also, if you have a special problem, you can talk to the driver before the bus starts and tell him you have this problem. So you would appreciate if he could, you know, make sure that he stops in every 2 hours. If you come across something interesting and you would like your fellow members who come after you, if you want them to experience that also, and also the eating places where there is good food and good prices, attractions that is a must see. Please keep notes for this, because at the end of the wheel, I will probably come back to you to get your recommendations, and if possible, we will do an interview, so we can have a YouTube interview with you on your experience. So please keep some notes on what to do, where to go, and the prices. Most important, how the prices were. Here are some important emergency numbers. The most important number you have to remember is 999. Unlike in the US, it's 911. In this country, in Malaysia, the emergency number is 999 for any emergencies and ambulances. For the fire, it is 994. So, consumer protection, you see there, you probably won't need that. So here I'm showing you specially in red 999. Keep that in mind. That is going to be your emergency number. Now I'll give you the contact for the ambassadors in each city. In Johor Bahru, which will be a starting point, it's Mr. Sharul Ejam. His WhatsApp number is plus 6010 411 0178, and his email is mohd underscore sharul5 at hotmail.com. Make sure you connect with him either on WhatsApp or email, and give him your itinerary, exactly how you are coming there, what time you will reach, and then he'll get back to you to give you details on where and how to collect the keys, and when he will meet you, and all the necessary information. You can call him anytime and talk to him for any information you need or advice. In Kuala Lumpur, our ambassador is Miss Marilyn Binondo. Her WhatsApp is plus 6011 2346 9188, and her email is marilynbinondo3 at gmail.com. And of course, in Kuala Lumpur, I do live in Kuala Lumpur. So unless gone to one of the locations, I will try to meet you while you are here. And you can ask me anytime, even now, you can call me anytime you want any more information. I'll be happy to give you. In Penang, our ambassador is Mr. Jeffrey Cook. His WhatsApp number is 6016 415 3935. His email is kchome jeffrey at gmail.com. So you please again touch with him before you reach Penang, giving him the details of how you are reaching Penang, what time, and later on you can ask him for any information you need on Penang and suggestions. And finally, in the last stop of our Malaysia wheel, Langkawi, our ambassador is Mr. Ikwan. Call him as Juan. His WhatsApp number is 6012 948 2069. His email is ikwan.bouncy at gmail.com. He is also the manager of the building and is quite connected in the town, so you can get a lot of ideas from him. So feel free to let him know when you're reaching there exactly, and other information.